A big thing that, at least that's important to me, a big thing that's important to me is learning how to make mistakes. Like I'm sitting here thinking about it, I don't think any of our training really teaches us how to handle failure. Um, because you can't grow if you're afraid to fall. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes military culture often discourages failure. Um, like we talk about resilience, but resilience doesn't always necessarily mean toughness, right? It's resilience is like how do you handle situations, how do you handle pressure. And so, if we're discouraging people from making mistakes or feeling like they can make a mistake, that could lead to leaders avoiding risks and like causing them to only stick to safe choices, and that's not always possible. Like I think a part of leading people is taking calculated risks. But if people feel like they can't fail, um, then we're missing out. So I think as I'm thinking about it, I think our trainings could be a little bit better if we started normalizing like more often. Some do it, but normalizing like after action reviews. You know what I
Oh yeah.
mean? That kind of like emphasize learning from mistakes rather than just assuming blame.
It just makes me think of the fact that some of the most impactful times for some of our airmen and young officers come from their basic training experience or come from their initial developmental experience because they're allowed to go through an obstacle course and completely eat shit. And that's okay.
Yep.
And they're
Yep.
not going to do it again.
Yep.
It's like they can go through um, drill and ceremonies and make a mistake. They're going to get chewed out and yelled at and
Mm-hmm.
reprimanded. They're probably not going to do it again. They're going to learn from those mistakes.
Yeah.
And that environment just helps so much. Learning to get chewed out is a valuable skill. Learning to make a mistake is a valuable skill. Uh, like it's just part of growth. It's the thought of like all the pressure it takes to form a diamond. Like diamond's just not sitting there like willy nilly on the surface. Like it takes so much to actually create this beautiful thing, and that is how our leaders need to treat themselves. Go into high pressure situations, take a risk. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. Worst thing that happens is your boss tells you don't do that again uh, because you push too far. Push in situations when lives are not on the line.